Let's turn to Somalia now, where the army says it's killed 75 al-Shabab militants during a military operation. The operation on Sunday was conducted in the Hiran region in central Somalia. Authorities say the operation is still underway and aims to flush out insurgents who've engaged government forces in near-daily attacks. The latest move came after government forces killed 43 al-Shabab militants on Saturday in an operation carried out in Abore province in central Somalia. The Somali National Army says it has so far recaptured more than 30 villages in operations carried out in the past few weeks. Well, for more on the situation there, we are now joined by Wole Ojewale, who's Regional Organized Crime Observatory Coordinator for Central Africa. He joins us working from the Institute of Security Studies based in Dakar. Wole, thank you for joining us this hour. The Somali president has said that the country is now seeing gains in the fight against the al-Shabab. What more can you tell us about the government's strategy and how they've been able to make gains against al-Shabab?
Thank you so much, Mahia. I think it's good to start on the note that the strategy that we've seen the government putting in place may involve three components. One is the military strategy of offense and defense, while the second is the countering extremist narrative, and the third one is the co-optation of clan-based militia to assist in military operation. So the first one, to an extent to which we can trace the statement that the president made in US lately, if they consider that military onslaught as some form of success, we'll give it to them as credit in that regard, but there's more work to be done. And the second strategy involves the appointment of former al-Shabab top commander into the cabinet of the government, which I think is to address the issue of extremist narrative in the country. So to the extent to which military onslaught is going on, what is important is that the government must be seen to be doing the right thing in ensuring that preventive measures and countering extreme messaging is put on top priority, because that is the fundamental areas through which people get involved into violent extremism and engage in terrorism. And the third one, which has to do with the cooptation of the militia-based clan-based militia, we must make a very important point here that the government have the responsibility to protect lives and property, and you can't franchise that responsibility to non-state armed group.
Right, and reports also do indicate that government-allied Somali militia killed at least 45 al-Shabaab fighters. How is fighting alongside militias helping the government's strategy, and what else needs to be done there?
It helps in one way because the clan-based militia have local intelligence, they have contextual knowledge of the terrain in which the guerrilla warfare with the militant is taking place. So they can support the military operation in that regard. But the fallout of that is that don't forget that these are non-state groups that are being harmed who are also bearing harm. So the government needs to put in place such strategy that is going to ensure disarmament and demobilization on the long run when the war against insurgency or insurgent is fought and won, if it's fought and won indeed in the coming years. So that is the drawback of engaging non-state armed group in supporting military operation in this regard. But based on the reports that we are receiving from the region for now, I think the government can't as a modest success, but it is not something that can be relied upon for the long run. And I think that is why it is important to say the president's statement in the US, trying to seek international support in combating and probably resourcing the armament can come handy in this regard.
All right, Wole, thank you very much for speaking to us on Africa Live. Wole Ojewale joining us live from Dakar.